really solidified this effort in the last several years. Second and short, nowhere to go at all for Fortuna. Fortuna on that carry, and just nowhere to go. The Rebels stacking him up. Actually, that was Ben Jarvis Green on the run, a 5'10", 210-pound sophomore. And now it's third down and long.
Yeah, Macbeth made the stack there. St. Aug came out in that power I formation. They were going to pound the football with Green, but West Monroe equal to the challenge.
West Monroe has tossed 4 shutouts this year. There's that power I formation. Burns rolls, throws. He's got a man in the slot. It's caught, and turning upfield for first down yardage is the wide receiver, Michael Adams. Now, they'll move him all over the field, Ronnie. He lines up at fullback sometimes. He'll also play wide receiver.
That time, not a bad idea, though. He came out of the backfield. Michael Adams, there you see 43, slid in underneath those linebackers, and a big first down for St. Aug, because what you do not want to do, Lynn, is get 3 and out on your first possession. So nice job by the Aug picking up the first down.
Well, Adams has fullback size, 5'10", 206. He's a senior, but he's also got good hands and pretty good speed, and they'll put him in the slot on occasion. Burns may be changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Pro-I formation this time. And we'll look at that huge offensive line in a moment. Tailback up the middle, slices through a tiny hole. Franklin with a little bit of running room. Offensively, Nunnery goes 300, Irons at 260, Harris at 225, Leggett at 230, Dorsey 6'7", 310, anchoring the right side of the line. Tight end Doucette 6'3", 240.
Yeah, Michael Franklin right there came into the season and has been, electric. Right that time, it looked like he was going to pick up 5-6 yards, but unfortunately got tripped up by the West Monroe Rebels.
Both he and Franklin and Fortuna both had 100-plus yards against Evangel last week. Second down, about 6. Play action. Burns heaves it. It's wobbling, and it is fought for and received by St. Aug at the 28-yard line. Brandon Smith out-jumped the defender, McVeigh, and hauled it in.
Well, that was just, throw it up. That was almost a Hail Mary. There you see the Aug fans. They're excited because those chains are moving, and that's awfully tough to do. Here you see the replay. He's got plenty of time. Burns, lots of protection. He throws the ball up, underthrows big time. Smith, the wide receiver, and Brandon Smith, give him credit. That's a jump ball. He needs to be playing some hoops over McVeigh.
McVeigh has 1 interception this year, and it looked as though he was in good position initially. But the ball floated and hovered, and Smith was able to recover. St. Aug on the march. A counter play coming to the outside. Franklin dances at the 25, and he goes down right there as West Monroe put a lot of people over there in a hurry. Franklin Lyons, who is a backup cornerback, came over to make the stop.
Now, this is exactly, if you're a Purple Knight fan, this is exactly what you wanted to see happen. They've come out, they've electrified the fans. There you see Franklin, a few juke moves, and he gets into the open field. But give West Monroe credit, the Lions right there. He wasn't faked out. He stepped right up and made the stop.
So 2nd and 8 from the 25-yard line. This is the opening drive for the Purple Knights, and you can tell what club they're in. Burns pressured. Down he goes. The big rush by the Rebels that time, and Burns is sacked for the first time.
Well, Ware will get credit right there on the sack. He came on the blitz on the outside, but that time Burns slipped on the turf. He tried to cut underneath Ware's rush, but West Monroe deciding, hey, they're not going to let the youngster Burns get some confidence. They're going to go right after him.
He is a junior, is Burns. That's quite a specimen, isn't it? Glentrell Ware, 6'2", 210 pounds, 3 interceptions, a couple of sacks, 10 tackles behind the line this year, in addition to those sacks. There's Don Schaus, West Monroe head coach. He went there following a successful stint at Pineville and became a West Monroe coach in 1989. Well, we've got a timeout. Let's take a break right here as these St. Aug Purple Knights want to discuss it, Ronnie, and it's third down, about 14. Jackson picking it off the middle linebacker as we came back to play a little early, and Lucas Jackson rumbles all the way inside the 5 with his 2nd interception of the season. Lucas Jackson picking it off, and now West Monroe with 1st and goal.
How about that? Purple Knights driving the ball. They snap it early. West Monroe intercepts. And just like that, St. Aug's got to put that defense on the field. Unbelievable. St. Aug looking like they're going to get some points on that first drive, but a big interception by Jackson, and he goes the other way, all the way down to the 1-yard line.
Here's a familiar name. Mark Banks on that carry to the 1. Mark Banks, the brother of Tommy Banks, who is completing his career at LSU. Mitch Tucker, the quarterback. Jarrell Johnson. And you see Banks, number 45. Tucker follows him through. He's at the goal line. Did he get in?
They're
No, he
saying
did
no.
not.
They're saying no. Third down. St. Aug stops the quarterback keeper.
Well, how about this for some balance? Johnson with 10 touchdowns. Banks with 10 touchdowns. Tucker, the quarterback, with 8 touchdowns. He was looking for his 9th right here. The fake to Banks.
Did he get in?
Following him in. And you see the middle of that St. Aug line playing it very tough.
This football behind the line of scrimmage.
Back to the I formation. Banks again, and he is in. Touchdown number 11 from 1 yard away. Mark Banks.
Wait a minute. They haven't signaled it yet.
Oh, I thought the officials
Fourth down.
did. They did not get in. It was West Monroe which signaled for the touchdown. And this is a heck of a stand unfolding right now.
Tucker, the quarterback, faked you out, and he threw the hands up like he had a touchdown, but St. Aug equal to the challenge on the handoff to Banks, and here we go once again.
It's a foot and a half away.
Down.
Leggett, McGraw, Davis, and Coward up front, among others.
What a big stop this would be for St. Aug. Momentum shifter if they can stop him here.
And early movement, I believe, for West Monroe. This will cost them 5 yards.
We are seeing an unbelievable defensive stand by St. Aug. They had to emotionally be just absolutely devastated after they were driving the ball offensively for a score. And an interception all the way back down to the 1. But St. Aug 3 plays in a row, and now a penalty to help back up the Rebels on 4th down.
That is an interested Purple Knights bench. This was Banks on the 3rd down play. Just a little bit hesitant going up in there. Not a lot of room to run. 4th and goal from the 6, and they'll bring on the field goal kicker, Lee Deal. He's only kicked 2 this year, 2 out of 5. This is really not much more than an extra point, and it is good. So West Monroe gets 3 out of it after the interception. 3-0 West Monroe. Let's take a break on the Wright and Percy Sports Network. Short field goal, approaches it and sends it down into the end zone. That's a heck of a boot for a high school kicker. Another touchback as Michael Franklin went back as far as he could and could not bring it out. So 2 touchbacks from Lee Deal.
Nice job by Deal in high school. The ball goes in the end zone. It's automatically a touchback. But West Monroe leads this ball game 3-0, Lynn, with 5:47 left to go in the first quarter. But I'll tell you what, right there, even though St. Aug gave up 3 points, it was almost like they didn't give up any, because what a tremendous goal line stand. 1st and goal at the 1 off the interception by West Monroe, and St. Aug able to hold them to only 3 points. Great job.
Adams and Franklin are in the I. Wide receivers left and right. On the near side, it's Smith. This is Franklin. Steps outside. Franklin gets 3 or 4 tough yards, and then he's double teamed down. The middle linebacker, Lucas Jackson, who is the leading tackler on the ball club, records his 120th in this, his 14th game. Let's go down to Gene Potty on the sideline. He's covering West Monroe. Okay, we'll go back to Gene in just a moment. 2nd down and about 5 for St. Aug. The Purple Knights trailing 3-0. It's Fortuna this time. He weaves for some yardage, but he's a step or 2 shy of the 30 where he needs to get to keep the drive alive. 3rd and short coming up for St. Aug. Fortuna is a 5'10", 181-pound senior. Franklin, a 5'9", 184-pound senior, and this is the second half of that tailback tandem. Fortuna had a 10-yard average last week against Evangel, and he comes up about 1.5 yards short for the Knights. 3-0 on the short field goal following the turnover. The Rebels protecting this slim lead with 4:27 left in the first quarter. The power I formation, fullback straight ahead, first down, I believe, but let's see where they spot this thing. It's going to be very close. They needed to get to the stripe to keep the drive alive, and it appears the nose of the football is on the chalk, and that should be good enough for a first down. What a beautiful day, Ronnie. There were scattered showers yesterday and a lot of gray clouds here in New Orleans, a lot of rain in North Louisiana, not so much here, and this turf is in exceptionally good shape.
Well, we'll talk more about the grass later, but this turf is brand new inside here at Tad Gormley Stadium this year. $1.3 million they spent on the system in the offseason.
Check, audio check.
Burns with the option to Franklin. He turns the corner and he rumbles up to the 35-yard line, maybe a yard beyond, and a nice looking first down option there, picking up about 6 on the play. Boy, he's a little scoot back, isn't he? Michael Franklin. West Monroe in white, St. Aug in purple.
Franklin going to come out and get a much-deserved breather right there on second down. And he's been the workhorse so far for St. Aug. But the thing about St. Aug is he's having to work so hard just to get 2-3 yards. You know, West Monroe makes it difficult. They're good, they're big, but they're also fast.
Quarterback draw, and Burns is able to wedge his way for about 3. Let's go down on the sideline. Doug Greengard is standing by on the St. Aug bench. Doug?
Thank you, gentlemen. I'll tell you what, you talked about the football field, and the man who's responsible for this turf here, the best turf in this city, is a gentleman by the name of Matt Massey. He joins us now. He is the sports turf manager here at City Park, and there have been 37 football games on this field this year, folks, and you're looking at a field that looks awesome. Matt, what does it take to keep it like this?
Well, we have 4 full-time guys, a great support staff here at City Park, as well as a great support staff with the Australian company Strat there.
Burns
when you look at the turf, that's obviously, there's a design to this that's different than the AstroTurf from last year.
Right, it's a modified root zone field. What that means is we have a reflex mesh element in the field which allows stronger rooting, therefore faster recovery time.
There you are, gentlemen. Beautiful field. Back upstairs to you guys.
Doug, thank you. Meanwhile, Jason Burns has scrambled for a first down up at the 50-yard line, and St. Aug is on the march with its second possession.
You know, Doug talking about the surface here. Couldn't ask for a better field and better setting for a state semifinal game instead of inside a 25,000-seat Tad Gormley Stadium.
Burns has this one batted down into his face. It's an incomplete pass, I believe, although the officials are not signaling anything. And if this one counts, it'll be a Jared Frost touchdown. The referee chased it all the way down.
I think they're going to confer right here and get this one together. And it's not, let's see if we can...
Meanwhile, West Monroe has already put its extra point team on the field. But it's coming back. It is an incomplete pass.
Let's take a look at it for yourself. I didn't think there was much question that this was an incomplete pass by Burns. Here you see, throws it, it's knocked down by Ware. One hops is picked up by Frost on the bounce. So nice play by Ware, but and give Frost a lot of credit. He's an actor, isn't he?
Looked like one of those outfielders coming up and trying to say, no, I got it. It didn't hit the turf. Second down and 10 from midfield. 3-0 West Monroe on a short field goal by Lee Deal. 2 minutes, 20 seconds left in the first quarter. The winner plays Shaw next week in the Superdome. Burns slings it out, and that one's almost picked off. It falls incomplete. That was almost disaster with a heads-up play by West Monroe, and they got some people out there in a hurry. Franklin Lyons came up from his cornerback position and nearly made the interception.
When you watch St. Aug and their plays, and Lynn, you know what? They're going left and they're going right. Hey, West Monroe's got plenty of speed, and they're plenty good enough to keep up. That time, Lyons almost stepped in and took it the other way. You got to go more north and south. You know, against a good defense, you want to tack right at them. Instead, St. Aug's going too much left and right, and they're not getting anything done on offense.
So you're saying maybe try to eliminate some of that speed and reaction by going straight ahead?
Absolutely. Drive it right at them with those big hogs up front.
3rd and 10, split backfield for the first time, and a reverse, and no running room at all. That was Franklin, I believe, who had lined up in the slot, and West Monroe snipped that one out and put a lot of people in his way. So the drive stalls. 4th and 12. And St. Aug will punt for the first time. Philip Franklin will kick it. Neither one of these teams has punted the ball very effectively this year, and this is a short kick. It bounces at the 35, rolls down near the 20-yard line. It comes to a close at the 20. DeMario Taylor said, no way I'm going to come up and get that one, and he wisely let it roll dead.
Well, the St. Aug Purple Knights had time stalled on offense, and now their defense will get a legitimate chance to see what they can do. Last time the defense was on the field, they had them in their 1-yard line.
94 seconds are left in the first quarter. 3-0 West Monroe. That's the senior quarterback, Mitch Tucker. We'll take a look at the offensive starting lineup in a moment. Here is Gerald Johnson, and he blasts his way up to the 25-yard line. Let's go ahead and look at the starting lineups offensively for West Monroe. Alpin, the tight end, Gregory, Hamilton, Valerie Hill, and Whitworth. He's probably the most noteworthy of that offensive line. McVeigh and Barfield. Barfield, the leading receiver. Turner, Tucker, Johnson, Banks. This is an offense that has been very consistent this year.
And they have been very versatile. And for years, West Monroe, a beer team now, they're throwing the ball as well as running the football, and very balanced.
Johnson sticks his head up into the fray again. He's met by the linebacker, Earl Wilson. Not much running room. Wilson, a 5'10", 200-pound senior. 3rd down, and about 6 facing the Rebels. We'll look at the St. Aug starting defense in just a moment. 3-0 West Monroe as we wind down here in the first quarter. A beautiful day in New Orleans. Tucker with play action, sets, fires to the outside, and that's well overthrown. He tried to get it to Adam Barfield, who has 28 catches, stops on the ball club. So West Monroe will punt it for the first time on their second possession.
Big hold right there by the St. Augustine Knights. Here you see the replay. Tucker with a little play action fake that time, and he's going to roll out, try to buy some time. All day to throw the football, but he just sails this ball into the St. Aug sidelines, and the Knights fired up.
Smith and Reed are back to receive the punt from Mims Boyce. Let's see what this penalty is all about.
That time St. Aug jumped off sides. One of their ends came across, and it's going to make it a close 4th and 1.
West Monroe about a half-yard shy, and let's see if Don Schaus gambles here. It appears the punting unit is going to the sideline. This is a heck of an early game gamble, Ronnie, from your own 31-yard line.
Well, Don Schaus has won 4 state championships in the last 7 years, so who are we to judge? But hey, if you don't get the first down right here, I mean, St. Aug's almost in field goal range at this point, so big 4th and about 1 yard to go.
It's the D5 formation. Banks is a fullback, and the hard count may have drawn St. Aug across the line of scrimmage again. So West Monroe apparently will get 5 out of this, and a couple of fluky penalties keep this drive alive.
That is unfortunate for the Purple Knight fans that time as Big McGrew, 78, came across, and that's 10 yards at defensive offsides penalties in the last 2 snaps, and not even a snap on 4th down.
That will drive Coach Villegas crazy on the St. Aug sideline.
You can't make those mistakes and try to beat the number 3 team in the country. It doesn't work that way.
From the 36, 1st and 10 for the Rebels. Tucker is under center. He's got 2 receivers to the right side. Banks plows straight ahead and pushes the pile forward for 2, maybe 3, out near the 38, and that's where they'll mark it. Let's take a look at the St. Aug starting defensive unit, and it is a powerful and very quick lineup up front. Leggett, McGrew, Davis, and Cowart. All of them are seniors. The linebackers are Hall and Wilson. The rover back, you see him there, Brandon Spencer, is one of the best players. Kelly, Morgan, Bird, and Gooter also there. That's the end of the first quarter. West Monroe leads St. Aug 3-0. A turnover early and a short field goal. And that's where we are. We'll take a 2-minute local break on the Wright and Percy Sports Network.
Why do that? Well, eventually you're going to hit it for a big one.
This time it's the new fullback, Edward Dade, in a 5'6", 165-pound junior. Ronnie, when you talk about fullbacks in this I formation, they really are almost tailbacks. And Banks has good speed despite 5'10", 194. Dade, a 165-pound junior on a 5'6" frame. So he's a little squatty guy, but they're not those huge 6'2", 235-pound fullbacks.
No, and they throw 4 different running backs at you. Dade and Banks, the 2 fullbacks, both about the same. And, you know, West Monroe, they've been good for years, but I think this year might be one of the better offensive teams because they're able to go up top as well as run it.
Banks again, and nowhere to go. He's stacked up after a 1-yard pickup on a right side plunge. West Monroe with Scott Stone, the offensive coordinator. 3rd down, and one of the Aug players is down. What a beautiful day for football. Temperature in the mid-50s. The wind is gusting out of the north between 10 and 20 miles an hour.
We've got 2 guys shaken up. It looked like one for
There's
West
Banks.
Monroe.
Yeah, that's the, or rather Dade, the replacement for Banks. And now we've got a flag being thrown by one of the officials as a couple of the players were swarming around the injured.
Dead ball, unsportsmanlike, wide.
And it's going to be an unsportsmanlike penalty call against West Monroe. Ronnie, I have no idea what that could have been.
Well, at the end of that last play, there was some jarring going on back and forth. There's Don Schaus trying to find out what's going on, but there was some talk amongst West Monroe and St. Aug. We couldn't quite tell what happened, but hey, St. Aug got killed with penalties earlier. Now they get a benefit of a big unsportsmanlike 15-yard penalty.
West Monroe has been a relatively heavily penalized team this year, averaging about 20 more yards in penalties than its opposition per game. There's Don Schaus, what success he's had. And that was a dead ball penalty while Dade was being attended after the injury.
And Don Schaus made it all the way out to the hash mark to try to question that call, and officials send him back to his area on the sideline.
The line to make is the 24-yard line. Tucker retreats, sets up the screen. This is Barfield. Barfield breaking it all the way. Touchdown, Barfield. Any flags? Yes, there is. There's a flag dropped at about the 35-yard line. Barfield on the screen takes it in for what would be his 5th touchdown if it stands.
We'll see, probably illegal man downfield. That's in the area of that flag. Here's the call.
A beautifully developed play by West Monroe, but it is coming back.
Wide.
And that's exactly what the penalty is. So the Rebels, 2 plays in a row, they have been killed by penalties. One that was a good drive up the middle. That time a touchdown comes back. Here you see the big boys, 51, 54, downfield just a little bit. And that time Barfield, nice catch and run, but it's going to come all the way back to the touchdown for North.
51 is Hank Hamilton, 54 Chris Valerie, and they may have inched downfield illegally. Somebody did. 3rd down and 23 now for West Monroe. The Rebels lead 3-0 with 9:50 left in the second quarter. West Monroe has been penalized 4 times, and 29 strides have been walked off. And we've got a timeout right now as West Monroe wants to get regrouped. 9:50 left in the first half. West Monroe leads it 3-0. Ronnie, I thought it might be a low-scoring game, and so far it appears that these 2 very powerfully matched ball clubs are going to slug it out.
Well, St. Aug has been impressive early on with their defense. You know, offensively, they've picked up a couple of first downs, but you kind of get the feeling that West Monroe defense is playing all that's cracked up to be. But what we didn't know is how tough the St. Aug defense is. And right now, they're playing some good football. There's Don Chowes right there trying to make his point to his officials that, hey, my guys aren't making any penalties.
Now, Shells is not dressed in camouflage today, but it wouldn't have surprised me if he might have come out in the green and brown. He's quite a duck hunter and likes to go as often as he can. And with the temperature a little airish here, I thought Don might have his overalls on.
Well, if he wins this game, he might go celebrate with a little hunting later in the weekend. But, hey, West Monroe, they've got about, 16 coaches. You know, 8 real ones and about 8 backup coaches. But they are all out there pretty fired up right now. The Rebel fans that made that long drive from West Monroe, they like the fact that their Rebels had that touchdown call back.
Boy, there's a bunch of them, too, huh? A lot of red on the far sideline, a lot of purple on the near sideline. West Monroe had the ball near the 30-yard line when this sequence of penalties started. It's all the way back to the Rebels' 40, actually the 38.
Third down, 38. What kind of play do you draw up there, Lynn?
Quick kick.
There's not a third down and 38 play, but we'll see what West Monroe comes up with.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a draw or that screen again. The Rebels appear a little confused at the line of scrimmage. And the officials still may be listening to a little carping from that Rebel sideline.
Here goes Don Chowes. Has he been ejected from the football game? Look at him, Lynn. He's headed into the stands. He's been ejected from the football game.
We'll find out from from Gene Potty in just a moment. Here's a handoff to DeMario Taylor. And Taylor scrambling for some yardage, breaks a tackle, still scrambling into St. Aug territory. But you saw Don Chowes going
and another
up.
Penalty.
Yep, we've got things really coming alive here. There's Chowes. He's in the stands now.
That's not an impersonator, folks. That's the head football coach for West Monroe in the stands. And he's just watched his Rebels get another penalty. So, man, let's see if we can get a call here from the official.
We have 2 penalties. Dead ball, unsportsmanlike, white. Dead ball, unsportsmanlike, blue. Offset.
Well, they call the double unsportsmanlike penalty call. Both of them dead balls. That's just kind of a warning for both sides.
And that'll bring up 4th down. Don Chowes, he's got the Bob Uecker seats, Lynn. He's on the back row. You got to be kidding me. I've never seen anything like this.
Well, we will find out from Gene Potty just as quickly as possible what exactly happened on the sideline. Meanwhile, West Monroe will punt. Mims Boyce is standing at his own 40. Boyce takes a perfect snap and sends a low kick that bounces at the 22. It rolls across the 20 to the 15 all the way down to the 12-yard line. So, Ronnie, some fireworks here. We've got another flag down on the field. Let's take a break, though. 9:17 left in the first half. West Monroe 3, St. Aug nothing on the Wright and Percy Sports Network. Welcome back, everyone. Along with Ronnie Rance, I'm Lynn Rollins. 9 minutes, 10 seconds left in the first half. Some of you have just joined us, and we appreciate you turning in. West Monroe 3-0 on an early field goal following a turnover. And here, St. Aug working from deep in its own territory. And you see the face mask penalty. And this will cost West Monroe some more yardage. Ronnie, there have been 5 flags dropped against West Monroe the last 3 plays.
Rebels lead at 3-0. We welcome our Baton Rouge affiliates and others joining us right now on the Bell South Mobility 5A semifinal game of the week. And I tell you what, Don Chowes, the head coach from West Monroe, has been ejected from this football game. He is in the stands watching his Rebels cling to a 3-0 lead. And St. Aug, although they have no points on the board, have played very well to this point in the ball game. And they are trying to hold on while the West Monroe team's got to regroup, Lynn. Their leader is in the stands. They've had all kinds of unsportsmanlike penalties, and the officials are trying to get a hold of this game before it gets ugly.
Well, as we did some preparation at midweek, Don Chowes says, look, I've got great coaches, great coordinators. All I do is just take the credit. Well, he's going to find out how good his coaches are today.
I don't care how good your coaches are when your head coach is not on that sidelines with that headset, calling some shots. Your team's a little bit disorganized, and West Monroe right now is got to be wondering what is going on.
Well, there have been more penalties than flags here in the first half by far. Lucas Jackson picked off a ball and ran it back better than 70 yards down into goal-to-go territory, but West Monroe was repelled 3 times at the goal line, and then Deal kicked a short field goal early in the first quarter, and that's where we stand with 8:19 remaining in the second period. The winner takes on Shaw next week in the 5A championship game. This false start costs St. Aug 5 yards all the way back to the 9. Boy, it's been give and take with these penalties.
Well, the first quarter flew by. It was pretty much penalty-free in that first quarter, but here in the second quarter, both teams, St. Aug jumped off sides a couple of times on 4th down. West Monroe's lost their composure, so now we'll see what happens as both teams settle in on 3rd and 6.
Akeem Jalla is the wide receiver on the near side. Smith out to the far side. I formation, it's Fortuna running right. Fortuna up to the 19. That's good enough for a first down. He was finally tackled by Jared Frost, the right safety. Lawrence Fortuna ran for better than 100 yards against Evangel last week.
Yeah, both Fortuna, number 4, and number 20, Franklin, both rushed for over 100 yards last week up in Shreveport against Evangel. So they have become very good, and it's a situation where that was the nicest running play, I think, of the day right there. A little power off the right side. St. Aug playing some smash mouth football like the Rebels usually do.
Well, as you mentioned earlier, there's about a 40-pound per man difference between the offensive line. Burns throws it to the far sideline. It is overthrown at the 40-yard line, and that was intended for Brandon Smith. Well, let's find out exactly what happened to Don Childs. Let's go down to the sideline. Here's Gene.
Guys, Tony Villegas, the St. Aug head coach, is telling his guys, get your head in the game. There's been a lot going on during the game. West Monroe and St. Aug players chatting back and forth. Probably a little more than that, some pushing and shoving. Villegas has told his players under no circumstances should they get involved with anything, get away from it as fast as they can, get back in the huddle, get in the game, and put their heads on straight because they've got a tough afternoon ahead of them.
That's Doug Greengard on the St. Aug sideline, letting you know what the perspective is from there. Michael Franklin at the 40. Franklin is tackled just short of midfield. And now St. Aug appears to be getting its running game going, Ronnie.
Well, 2 big runs right there for Fortuna for a big gainer, and Franklin this time, though. Franklin shaken up, though. That would be very bad news for St. Aug. As he's over there on the bench, you see another little power off the right side, a little trap, big hole, nice kick out block by Adams, and Franklin off to the races that time and just slips up, gets caught from behind that time, and big gainer for St. Aug. The Purple Knights moving the football nicely here in the second quarter.
DJ Holloway made a saving tackle for the Rebels. From the 45-yard line, they say his knee went down there. 4 down linemen defensively. And Burns will throw on first down. He has a pocket. He fires it deep. It is overthrown near the 20-yard line. Again, he tried to get it to Brandon Smith. There was coverage, but Smith was behind the secondary.
Right, you can't blame St. Aug for trying. Burns in the first quarter threw a long pass to Burns down the sidelines. That was a jump ball, and Burns outmanned McVeigh to get it. This time, St. Aug trying for the second time in a row as Burns, this ball was overthrown. No chance for Burns to come down with it.
Chasing it was Franklin Lyons, but the ball slightly overthrown. 2nd and 10.
I like St. Aug, though, that they're throwing the ball downfield. They're running the ball, a little combination, trying to stretch that defense out.
Slot back left, wide receiver right. 1 setback, and Burns will throw on 2nd down. Fires it over the middle. It's almost intercepted as he threw it over the tight end, John Doucette.
Doucette, the big tight end, was open that time. Also, Fortuna was open, but, Burns, little guy back there, and had to loft it kind of way up in the air to get it over his big offensive line, and that time just a little too high.
Burns is not that small, 6 feet, but by golly, when you've got 6'6", 6'7", people up front, you've got to throw it over, and then several tall defensive players as well for West Monroe. 3rd and 10. The drive at the 45. West Monroe 3. St. Aug nothing. 6:49 left in the first half. Here's the tie-dye formation with 2 wide receivers left, and Burns will throw for the 3rd straight down. He rolls left. He fires it. It's incomplete at midfield, intended for Ben Jarvis Green. He had it and bobbled it. Green coming out of the backfield, turned. The ball was on him, and he was unable to reel it in.
I'll give West Monroe credit. St. Aug with a couple of big first downs. Rebels on their heel, but they step up. Here you see as St. Aug going to the air attack like they did earlier in the season. But this time, Burns off the target, but he wouldn't have had the first down anyway.
Taylor back to return the kick. Let's see if he gets a chance. He backs up, has it at the 21, makes a juke move right, now runs right. He is at the 35 and is hit hard at the 36-yard line. But a 16-yard return by DeMario Taylor after the punt by Philip Franklin. So 6:32 remains in the second quarter, and the Rebels have the ball at their own 36-yard line. Watch this hit on DeMario Taylor after the 16-yard return. Boom.
Mr. Taylor meet Mr. Cleveland Johnson. Those guys just collided. Johnson doesn't make that tackle. Taylor might be off to the races.
On the outside, a gain of 10 or 11 for West Monroe as Miller McVeigh turns that one into a first down. That's his first catch. He's had 18 receptions prior to that one and 3 touchdowns, averaging 17.2 per reception this year. So West Monroe laboring in the first half under the shadow of a lot of penalties and a lot of unsportsmanlike penalties, but trying to get together, and St. Aug had a promising drive that stalled at midfield.
And under the shadow of their head football coach, who's watching from the upper deck because he's been tossed out of the ball game.
Tucker throws to Barfield on the little curl pattern, and he is able to scoot his way near first down territory. So, Ronnie, 2 first down throws by Tucker, and the Rebels had not come close to doing that prior to the midway point of the second quarter.
You know, both teams throwing the football, and it's interesting. Last week, St. Aug rushed for over 300 yards against St. Aug, and of course, everybody knows about the Rebel Deer attack. They average over 220 yards a game rushing the football throughout the season. So, but both teams now find themselves in a tight 3-0 ball game. So they're going to the air a little bit to try to shake up each other's defense.
You know, this offensive coordinator, Scott Stone, for West Monroe, is an ex-baseball player at the University of Louisiana Monroe. So here's a baseball guy who's had great success in another sport. West Monroe huddling around what's left of its coaching staff on the sideline. We have dispensed Gene Ponte to try to get a word with Don Schaus. Don was banished to the top row of the stadium amongst the West Monroe Rebel fans following what apparently were harsh words during a timeout after a penalty was called against West Monroe. And we'll find out from Gene in just a moment what the story is. 1st and 10 for West Monroe at the 44-yard line. 3-0 Rebels with 5:56 left in the second quarter. Tucker has thrown on the last 2 first downs. He goes to the ground here. Banks back in the ball game, nowhere to go. Gene Ponte is on the sideline. He's got the story about Don Schaus. Gene?
Hey, Lynn, Coach Schaus was warned not once, but even a second time when he was only allowed that first time for obviously after that first unsportsmanlike conduct call. And when he got back out on the field after that roughing penalty, they tossed him. And he sits now, as you guys saw a couple of minutes ago, 3 seats from the top of the stadium.
Well, there's Don Schaus amongst his friends.
That's him in the West Monroe hat.
Yeah, he was warned, don't come out on the field again. He did it. Adios. I wonder if Gene had to climb all the way up there to find out what was going on. Tucker fires, and it's incomplete, but there is a flag down at the line of scrimmage and one in the backfield. 5:18 left in the second quarter. West Monroe 3 on an early field goal by Lee Deal. Since then, these clubs have slugged it out.
A little movement by the West Monroe offense, and you talked about it, how they've had a lot of penalties this year. You know, it doesn't surprise me that they have more penalties than their opponent because they usually have the football and most penalties come on offense. But today, today has really been a case. Let's go back down to Doug Greengard. Michael Franklin's a little shaken up for St. Aug. Doug?
That's right, guys. He took a shot a couple of plays ago. He came out and was tended to by the trainer. As you can see, number 20 is now sitting on the bench. It took a shot on that shoulder. He says he's got some shoulder soreness, but there's no numbness or anything else. They're just calling it a stinger. He says he will return to the game.
Tucker's pass over the middle is caught at the 40-yard line. And I think that was Michael Turner. It was. He's a big target, Ronnie. 6'4", 200-pound senior. That's his 19th catch of the season.
Yeah, only 19, and he's going to be a fantastic player at the next level. And you see, went up, got it, big target, big hands. College scouts' dream, 6'4", 200 pounds.
There's Tucker, number 88, averaging 18 yards per reception. He gets to the 40-yard line or just beyond it. Third down. And about 7 for the Rebels with 4:35 left in the second quarter. Movement again, man in motion. That is Johnson coming to the near side. Here's the screen pass, and it is bobbled and caught by Turner, and he turns upfield. He's got a first down. A circus catch on the sideline. It was almost picked off, and then Tucker reeled it in.
Well, what a break for the Rebels that time. Tucker on the sidelines just kind of standing around. Looked like St. Aug was going to intercept it, but Tucker makes the catch, and the Rebels keep the chains moving.
Tucker, you see the ball tipped actually by one of the Rebels. And Tucker, after a couple of juggles, is able to hold on and steam up the far sideline.
And that ball went right through the hands of Derek Bird. Also had a chance to pick it off for St. Aug, but the big catch for West Monroe.
From the 28-yard line. Here's the fullback, and it is Mr. Banks, and he crunches his way across the 25 to the 24. Ronnie, on that previous play, West Monroe touched it, St. Aug touched it, and then Tucker finally made the juggling catch. Less than 4 minutes remains in the second quarter. It's 3-0 West Monroe.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, and that time it paid off for West Monroe. And now, hey, it's been a 3-0 ball game, but the Rebels slowly but surely moving that football. They're well in field goal range, going for more.
Second down, toss back to J.J. He turns the corner. He's got a first down as he is tripped up around the 15-yard line. They may give him progress to the 14-yard line. Jarrell Johnson, they call him J.J. He's the leading rusher, 141 carries for 1,006 yards in the first 13 games.
Just a little pitch back to Johnson. There you see Banks leading around the end. Wears 45 like his brother Tommy did in high school. And Johnson, they ran out of real estate, but a big gainer for West Monroe. Another first down.
At the 14-yard line, the Rebels attacking, looking for the game's first touchdown. 3-0 West Monroe. High formation, fake toss. Tucker will throw, guns it, and it's caught by that big wide receiver Turner. He turns the corner, he's in. Michael Turner makes his third touchdown catch of the season 2000. And West Monroe takes a 9-0 lead on a 14-yard hookup.
West Monroe with so many weapons, Lynn, they just keep coming at you. 4 different running backs, 3 different receivers, all double-digit catches. And that time, Turner runs a little crossing route, one of the best routes in football, catches the ball and just outruns the St. Aug defenders to the end zone.
And Mitch Tucker to Michael Turner. There was a couple of RPMs on that throw. That was a very tight spiral. Lee Deal will attempt the extra point. It's in the air, and it is good. So Deal knocks it through, and West Monroe takes a 10-0 lead. We will return after this on the Wright and Percy Sports Network. Franklin is back to return the kick for St. Aug. Let's see if he gets a chance. It's a bouncing ball, which is corralled at the 21-yard line by Michael Adams, and Adams works his way back to the 30. So after 2 kicks through the end zone, the Rebels that time hit a ground ball, and West Monroe will have to dig in defensively at the 30-yard line. St. Aug has good position to start this drive, and they need to get something going. 3:15 left in the first half. 10-0 West Monroe on an early field goal, and then the 14-yard touchdown pass from Mitch Tucker to Michael Turner.
Well, St. Aug trying to get a score, either a field goal or a touchdown on the board before half. 3:15 to go in the second quarter, and you don't want to go to the locker room down 10.
One running back, it's Adams. Wide receivers, all over the field. And a mixed play. Fumble. Still loose. Back inside the 20. Recovered. Not yet by anybody. Still scrambling for it. The Rebels think they've got it, but the officials have yet to confirm it. There's a recount at the 12-yard line. And apparently, West Monroe, well, hold on. West Monroe was a little bit eager, and it's going to go to St. Aug. West Monroe had 2 or 3 opportunities to jump on the football, and they could not make a clean pickup.
Well, so West Monroe's going to think it's a conspiracy, like that somebody's out to get them. They've had penalties called against them. They thought they scored a touchdown once. They thought they had this fumble. Here you see the exchange between Burns and Adams never happened. West Monroe had so many opportunities right there. About 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6 or 7 Rebels had their hands on the football, but somehow St. Aug came out with the ball.
Well, Ricky Gio had the first shot at it for West Monroe. He couldn't pick it up, and then it was hot potato from there. All the way back to the 11-yard line, a loss of 16, make it 17, 2nd and 27. Here come the Rebels on a backside blitz. The throw is away. It is caught at the 25-yard line. Big Akeem Jalla hauled that one in. A good throw from Jason Burns, the junior, to his junior Akeem Jalla. Now St. Aug in a hurry-up mode at the 27-yard line. Jalla, a 6'2 junior receiver. 2:33 and counting. St. Aug still with about 13 yards to go for the first down. Burns in shotgun for the first time. Retreats, has a pocket. Now he's flushed right. Looks, throws to the sideline. Jalla makes another reception about 6 yards short of a first down, and he did not get out of bounds. Akeem Jalla, A-K-I-E-E-M, Jalla, J-O-L-L-A. Yeah, there you see the good-looking junior, 184 pounds on that 6'2 frame. It is 4th down. It should be 3rd down. The yard marker shows 4th, but I believe it should be 3rd, and we've got a timeout by St. Aug. Let's take a break. Well, today's game is brought to you by Wright and Percy Insurance. Wright and Percy Insurance, proud sponsor of Statewide Prep TV. By Bank One. By Bell South Mobility. By Luba Workman's Compensation. By Go.com, powered by Go Online. By Parish National Bank. By Bell South, featuring the real Yellow Pages. By Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Louisiana. By Purple and Gold magazine. By Dodge Ram. Well, the yard marker still shows 4th.
Well, now we got it straight. It is 4th down. It is officially 4th down. St. Aug was confused. They called a timeout. It is 4th down. So now the Knights are going to punt the football. So the Rebels look like they're going to get it back with 2 minutes to go and a chance to get more points. DeMario Taylor, who had a nice run back last time, watches this one bounce over his shoulder all the way back across the 15, all the way down to the 11-yard line. So a nice kick by Philip Franklin as he was able to work it past DeMario Taylor, and that is a huge kick at a big spot in the ball game with 109 seconds remaining in the second quarter. 10-0 West Monroe on an early field goal and a touchdown pass from Tucker to Turner on West Monroe's last possession. Well, the Rebels, interesting to see how they come out and attack St. Aug with 1:50 to go, 1:49. Will they be complacent and run out the clock or try to go for points? I have a feeling that they're going to probably go for it. They're a little frustrated. They're only up 10-0, and their head coach, Don Shows, is watching from up in the stands. He's been tossed out of this ball game.
Tucker will throw on first down. He heaves it deep into double coverage. It is tipped and almost intercepted at the 45-yard line. Craig Kelly had it and could not pull it in. It was intended for Michael Turner, and Craig Kelly was in perfect position and almost had that interception.
Well, now we know why. Now we know why Kelly plays on the defensive side of the football, because that ball hit him right between the 1 and the 5. Would have been a big interception for St. Aug, but it went right through his hands. But a good defensive play nonetheless.
1:42 left in the second quarter. 1st and 10 from the 2nd and 10 from the 11-yard line. Tucker slips it off to Banks, and he cracks out over the 20 to the 21, the 22-yard line. And that will be close to a first down. I believe he's got it. Banks runs hard. Not the prototypical fullback at 5'10", 194, but he still is a crunching runner with tailback speed. It is a first down up at the 13-yard line. There's acting head coach Jerry Aldridge. He's also the defensive coordinator. Adam Barfield, the target of that throw out into the flat. It's thrown wide of him at the 30-yard line. So Jerry Aldridge is working the game as the boss for West Monroe now.
You know, it's interesting earlier in the week when we talked to Jerry Arledge, you know, we asked him questions about the offense, and he said, no. I handle the defense.
Yeah.
You want to go talk about the offense, ask Scott Stone. Yeah. So now he's got to know about the offense. So now he's getting a briefer. He's getting caught up. So who we got on offense?
His exact words were, I can't even spell offense. Toss back, Johnson turns the corner. He may have another first down. That play has been successful the last couple of times West Monroe has run it. The clock is momentarily stopped with 84 seconds left in the second period. Let's see where they spot this thing. And watch Johnson on the toss sweep right. Good blocking out in front. Mark Hamilton, the right guard, had pulled, and then Johnson does the rest as he splits a couple of defenders and eventually is wrestled down by that cornerback, Craig Kelly.
Yeah, West Monroe has gotten positive yardage out of that play, it seems, all afternoon. To me, they need to keep running that little pitch, little toss sweep.
Here it comes to the near side. Johnson is cut off and taken down for very little gain, if anything. No blocking that time, and some great penetration by Perry Davis. He is one of at least 3 or 4 very highly sought-after defensive players for St. Aug. Davis, that nose tackle, got out to his right very quickly, a 6', 265-pound senior.
Well, Banks tried to lead the way that time on the West Monroe Rebels around the end, and needed to take that one more to the sidelines. He cut back in, trying to juke around a little bit, and St. Aug said, we won't have any of that.
42 seconds and counting here in the second quarter, 10-0 West Monroe. And we've got movement again at the line of scrimmage. And that stops the clock with 37 seconds remaining.
Dead ball, offside, blue.
That's the third time that Tucker has incited that early start from the Purple Knights.
Well, that time West Monroe ran a nice little play. They put their fullback Banks in motion, and he went towards the line of scrimmage, and that's what drew the St. Aug offsides. But, you know, the Knights are so fired up, they want to get in that backfield and just disrupt that offensive play, but they got to be more disciplined to go when the ball's snapped.
The clock has started at the official's motion. 26 seconds left in the half. There's that motion again, but not far enough. Tucker slips it off on the draw play to Johnson, tries to get outside, gets by 1, and he slips down at midfield. And that could be the final play of the quarter, although the clock is stopped. As Kelly made the hit on Johnson, the clock stopped momentarily on the first down. 15 seconds remaining in the first half with West Monroe leading 10-0.
Well, West Monroe, 15 seconds, need to throw the football downfield, get a first down, stop the clock, and take another shot at the end zone.
8 seconds left. Johnson running left is hit. Down he goes, and that will be the final play of quarter number 2. Sylvester McGrew, another very highly regarded defensive lineman, a 6'4", 264-pound senior, made the hit. So the clubs go to their respective locker rooms. West Monroe has a 10-0 lead over St. Aug down at Tad Gormley Stadium in New Orleans.
We'll take a 2-minute local break and be back with more from New Orleans here on the Wright & Percy Sports Network.
St. Aug head coach Tony Villegas, what do you do for your team in the second half? Had a hard time getting things going offensively, and they've had some big plays, and there have been penalties too.
We got to put the ball in the end zone. You know, we moved the ball in spots in the first half, but the defense is hanging on, and we're not putting the ball in the end zone. So we got to score some points, and the defense got to continue to play a little better than they played.
Are you frustrated? Are you disappointed? Are they doing things that you didn't expect them to do? What's happened?
No, nothing new. The game is still right there for us. You know, I mean, it's 10-0. They got 3 points in an interception return, so we're right here in the ball game. We just got to score some points.
Tony Villegas, best of success in the second half. Back upstairs to you guys.
Okay, Doug, thank you very much. West Monroe is scheduled to get the football first. It won the toss to open the ball game, elected to defer, and Ronnie, that worked out pretty well for the Rebels.
Yeah, it really did. I mean, you know, the Rebels, whenever you can get the football in the second half with the lead, that's exactly what you want to try to build on it. But you heard Coach Villegas a little bit talking right there. Real happy with his defense, and why not? His defense has really only given up 7 points, and against the number 3 team in America and in West Monroe, that's pretty good. So if his defense can keep playing that well, maybe some of those big playmakers on offense, Franklin might be able to pop a couple and get a couple scores.
Well, in the third quarters this year, West Monroe has picked up 83 points and allowed only 6. So
so it doesn't look good for St. Aug, is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm saying history has been pretty good.
West Monroe's only given up 6 points in the third quarter through 13 games this year. That's not good.
Actually, I misread that stat. Averaging 6.
Averaging given up. Well, Tony Villegas can get 6 in the third and 6 in the fourth. They win, so we'll see what happens.
I'm not sure if any of those numbers I just said are right. You see if you can make this out. Close enough. Their third quarters have been good. Today's game is brought to you by Bell South Mobility. And we're so happy you're with us statewide. The first telecast of its kind. And a great deal of thanks goes to both principals and administrations of these schools, West Monroe and St. Aug, for making this broadcast possible. Semifinals from New Orleans. Shaw awaits the winners next week. There's Villegas. He's hoping his club can dig in early here in the third quarter defensively.
And keep in mind, folks that might be tuning in, the West Monroe Rebels have built this 10-0 lead without their head coach, Don Shouse, who was ejected early in the second quarter. Don Shouse, the head coach at West Monroe, when he took over that program, West Monroe was nothing, and they've won 4 state championships since 1993. Well, Don Shouse is just like all of us. He's a fan. He's watching the game from the stands here at Ted Garnley Stadium in New Orleans because he was ejected in the second period.
I've got the third quarter numbers correct. West Monroe has scored 83 points this year in the third period and allowed 22. The return will start from the 10. Johnson, 40, midfield, up the near sideline, wrestling for yardage at the 30. A 60-yard return for Gerald Johnson, and West Monroe comes out smoking with the kickoff return.
Well, that's exactly what you want to do if you're West Monroe. The Rebels did not play West Monroe football in that first half. Here you see JJ, as they call him. He's explosive. Big hole right up the middle. And there you see the Rebels just clearing out purple shirts. And 1, 2, 3, 4 missed tackles right there. But a nice job by the kicker to bring down JJ Johnson.
And Banks made a clear-out block. You saw that in the middle of the field. Johnson finally wrestled out of bounds. Back to play. Tucker will throw on first down. Heaves it short. It's caught and then dropped. It's an incomplete pass. Barfield was the intended receiver out into the right flat. Second down and 10. Tucker had a pretty solid outing in the first half. Nothing spectacular, but West Monroe took over midway through the first period and controlled the tempo of the football game despite a really bad flurry there, where West Monroe got 6 penalties assessed against it on 4 plays. Toss sweep, Johnson. Flag goes down. Johnson breaks open at the 20. Johnson inside the 5. He's tackled at the 1-yard line. Or was that Taylor? It may have been DeMario Taylor, but I think it's going to come back with a holding penalty at the line of scrimmage. There is a penalty marker at the line of scrimmage, and I think, Ronnie, this will be a hold.
That's exactly what happened. The Rebels' second time. Today they had a touchdown earlier that came back. That time an almost touchdown comes back. DeMario Taylor with a nice run off that right side. That little toss, little sweep. Banks coming around the end to lead the way. He breaks the tackle and he almost takes it to the end zone. So, but all that is coming back.
Well, DeMario Taylor's had a nice year playing behind Johnson, averaging 8.6 yards per carry, and he scored 6 times. So he is a very capable backup to Johnson.
I like all the running backs for West Monroe. They all run hard. They all spell each other. There's really no one or two. It's like 1A, 1B.
Taylor apparently will have that starting role next year. He's a junior. Toss over the middle, dropped at the 35-yard line. That one was right into the midsection of Michael Turner, and he coughed it up. So it will move to 3rd down and about 22 yards to go for West Monroe. That penalty not only wiped out a scoring opportunity, but it pushed West Monroe out of field goal range.
The Knights need more of that. Penalties and drops by Rebels if they're going to try to come back in this ball game.
A big crowd on hands. The shadows starting to creep out across the field. West Monroe attacking from right to left here. Tucker steps into the pocket, scrambles. He'll run it. And he gets nearly back to the original line of scrimmage, but it'll bring up 4th down and 12. Tucker this season averages 3.1. He has scored 8 touchdowns. His longest run has been 33, and West Monroe apparently will punt after the scramble by Tucker.
Well, from this point, it'd be a 50-yard field goal. The Rebels don't kick a lot of field goals, so we're not going to attempt one. And instead, they'll try to see if they can knock this inside the 10. It was hard run by Tucker, but he couldn't get the 3rd and 30.
Mims Boyce hangs this one like a box kite, but it carries a little bit too long into the end zone for the touchback. So a net of only about 12 or 13 yards after the punt by Mims sailed out into the end zone. Today's game brought to you by Bell South Mobility. 10:39 remains in the 3rd quarter. And for the first time in the 2nd half, St. Aug gets the football at its own 20-yard line. Jason Burns had sporadic success in the first half, the junior quarterback. Michael Adams in motion. Toss back to Michael Franklin. His feet come out from under him inside the 15. Franklin slipping on the turf. This was a special Bermuda. There has been ryegrass planted in the fall as well. And Ronnie, this field is in exceptionally good shape. Tucker tried to cut back, and the spikes didn't hold.
And you got to get the right size grippers. You know, you got to make sure you got the long cleats when you're playing that long grass. Can't blame the field, brand new field, but we've seen a few slips today by St. Aug. One by Franklin, a couple by Burns, the quarterback. So they're having trouble getting their feet this afternoon.
Ware was also there defensively. The Rebels show blitz. Tucker tries to dance outside. He's hit, down he goes, and I think it was Ware who got him at the 9 after there was some initial pressure from Ricky Gio. Boy, Gio and Ware really got there in a hurry, didn't they?
You know, Glentrell Ware, number 9, he is just a fantastic player and a specimen. 6'2", 210 pounds. And
there's Gio, and there's 9 Ware.
And Franklin trying to run outside, and he's just not going to do that against West Monroe. They got plenty of speed.
Desiree Adams had also come over from right safety, and he was about to make the hit had Ware not been able to polish him off. 3rd and very long. The line to make is the 30. The football is at the 9-yard line. Burns retreats. He fires it deep into double coverage. It is intercepted at the 40-yard line. Picked off by McBeth. He returns to the 20, puts his head down, and cracks his way to the 12-yard line. Ron McBeth with his 5th interception this year.
A lot of Rebels right there, Lynn. Answer saying, you know, we heard before the half that that's exactly what St. Aug was going to do. Throw the football deep. West Monroe knew it. That time they double-teamed the wide receiver, and McBeth with his 5th interception in his 14th ball game. There you see McBeth comes over. The safety roams over there to help double team over the top and makes a great play.
That's the 24th interception for West Monroe this year. Toss back to the tailback, and J.J. scrambles down past the 5 to the 4-yard line. Let's see where they mark it. Just beyond the 5. It'll be 2nd down and about 3.5 to go. Let's go down on the sideline. Here's Gene Potty with West Monroe. Gene?
Hey, guys, when the Rebels came out in the 2nd half, they pride themselves on being a 3rd and 4th quarter football team. Big Mo has jumped in their favor in a big way right now. We'll see if they can't get 7 out of it.
2nd down, 2, Toss back to Johnson again. He's at the 1. He hurdles. Touchdown. Jarrell Johnson. His 11th rushing touchdown of the season. He's also caught one. So West Monroe starting to take control. It's 16-0 with 8:26 remaining in the third quarter.
Here you see that toss that I mentioned in the second quarter that looked like West Monroe was going to be able to run all day long. Well, they did right there. Jarrell Johnson hurdles over the outside for the touchdown. It's 16-0. The extra point will make it 17. And Lynn, that's a lot of points against this very good West Monroe defense.
Lee Deal looking for his second field goal, or second extra point after one field goal. It is up and good. Deal is now 55 out of 62 this year. Let's take a break. West Monroe 17, St. Aug nothing on the Wright and Percy Sports Network. Near the 6-yard line. Well, Fortuna picked it up. It looked like he wanted to slip it off to Franklin or keep it. I'm not sure what happened, but the ball stayed between them.
Boy, the Knights are really fortunate to get this football back. I mean, that really looked like it was going to be West Monroe's ball. Here you see Fortuna picks up the bounce. He heads to his left. He's trying to give the ball to Franklin, although Franklin looked like he thought it was going to be a fake. And you see it was on the ground, and West Monroe almost got that football.
Ben Jarvis Green picked it up to give St. Aug the possession, but it comes back at the 7-yard line. So now the Knights need to get it cranked up. Tailback up the middle, out to the 20, out in front of the 30, 40, midfield, and wrestled down at the 46-yard line, Michael Franklin. He's got a little pop, doesn't he?
Yeah, Michael Franklin's explosive. He needed to put it in that third gear to try to take it to the house, but a nice big run. It's got this band, the Marching 100, and the crowd back into the football game. St. Aug really needed this, but Lynn, they did the same thing. You know, they kicked out the end with the fullback. They ran a little cross block up in the middle, and that time Adams with a nice block, and Franklin takes it to the house, but a nice job by Frost to catch him.
So Jared Frost runs him down from behind. St. Aug quickly comes out of the shadow of its own goalpost. Burns with play action now will scramble. He picks up a yard or two and wisely turns to the right out of bounds. 7:55 left in the third quarter. West Monroe 17, St. Augustine High School nothing from Tad Gormley Stadium in New Orleans.
Most of St. Aug's success has come off tackle. They need to do that more.
Today's game is brought to you by Purple and Gold, by Bank One member FDIC, by Bell South Mobility, by Dodge Ram, by Go.com, powered by Go Online. Franklin again. Oh, look at that cutback, but he stumbles. He almost made a heck of a move back to his left with a crab walk, but his spikes came out from under him.
Well, he had good vision right there, but he needs to take it more north and south. That time tried to cut back way to his left. He's got to lean forward and pick up that positive yards. He needs to stop dancing around and run more towards the hole.
3rd down and 7 for St. Aug. The Rebels pitching the shutout so far, but St. Aug in Rebel territory. A tight eye formation, a wide receiver left. That's Smith. Another one out to the right. That's Jala. And Burns will throw, but he can't get it away. He's sacked back in his own territory. Well, they came from everywhere that time. DJ Holloway and Zach McVeigh, both corners, were blitzing. Let's go down to Gene Potty. He's got a report from the West Monroe sideline. Gene?
Hey, guys, I know there's been some discussion as to whether or not Don Showers will be able to coach in next week's football game. That obviously after his ejection early in the first half. According to the coaches, and I just talked with him a couple of minutes ago, that's really just some form of paperwork has to be applied for, and he should be on the sideline. He said they'll worry about that next week.
Okay, Gene, thank you very much. Here's the kick. And Mario Taylor lets it bounce all the way into the end zone for the touchback. How about that double cornerback blitz, Holloway and McVeigh on that sack on 3rd down? You don't often see both corners coming.
That was a nice job, and, you know, West Monroe, when you're up 17, Lynn, you can afford to do whatever you want. You know, you can bring the house, and that's what they've done. Nice punt that time for St. Aug, though, to get the field position back in their favor. Now they need a big defensive stand. 6:32 left to go in the third quarter. Plenty of ball game, but when you have scored a point, you got to start questioning yourself.
Philip Franklin with another nice kick away from DeMario Taylor. Tucker, who has taken virtually every snap this year at quarterback, hands it off for very little yardage. Out to the 21 or 22. Second down and long. Tucker has played just about every down. Chase Bostic, who has suffered a broken leg, has thrown 4 times this year for 1 touchdown and 1 interception, but Tucker has been the quarterback virtually the entire season. Power I formation, blocking back to the right side. And the tailback bangs up in there again. Johnson nowhere to go. St. Aug really plugging up the middle of the line. 5:50 and counting in the third quarter. West Monroe 17, St. Aug nothing. This game brought to you in part by Bell South Mobility. Brandon Hall, a linebacker, checks into the ball game. Number 45. You saw him go into the defensive huddle. 3rd and 8 at the 22-yard line. Edward Dade is in at fullback right now. And we've got a timeout, so let's take a break. West Monroe leads at 17-0. 5:23 to go in the third quarter on the Wright and Percy Sports Network. By Adam Barfield. It was his second catch of the day, and here's the inside handoff to DeMario Taylor after the fake sweep. Taylor with a couple of yards and not much more. Let's go down on the sideline. Here is Doug Greengard. Doug?
Guys, the St. Aug offense trying to find a way to stay on the field longer. They're having a tough time picking up on a lot of the blitzes and the stunts that West Monroe is throwing at them. Also, they're getting a little bit discouraged in what Michael Franklin, the running back, is doing. He's going around, he's high-fiving guys, he's trying to encourage guys and get this offense to try to get something going because time is running out on St. Aug right now. Back upstairs.
4.5 minutes left in the third quarter. Toss back on the sweep right. Good running room again, cracking out near the 40. And that will be, I believe, enough for the first down. That toss sweep right has been effective today, Ronnie.
Well, all day long, either right or left. And I think because West Monroe has the size and the speed to match up with St. Aug. We've made a lot about St. Aug's size and speed, but hey, West Monroe's just as big, just as strong, just as fast, and they've got great lead blocking when they get around that corner.
We'll check in on JJ's numbers in just a moment. Johnson with that first down run. This time it's the fullback, Banks, I believe, pushing the pile forward across the 45. Both he and Dade were hurt earlier in the first half, but both have returned to the football game. And that time it was Mark Banks. Banks had averaged 6.2 yards per carry, and you see Mitch Tucker there getting a quick word with his offensive coordinator, Scott Stone.
Banks goes out, Dade comes back in. You don't lose anything. Dade, a fantastic runner as well, and right now, West Monroe's going to be content just to grind it out and eat up that clock.
Johnston cracks ahead, and he hit the line with a lot of enthusiasm, didn't he? A late developing play, but Johnson looked like a sprinter 5 yards out of the blocks when he got the football.
There you see just plenty of room. St. Aug trying to get the dive. And there you see the pitch with one guy at a beat. He puts a little juke move, and it gets a good block. It doesn't matter if it's Johnson or Banks or Dade. They're just pounding it right now.
That was his 12th carry for 76 yards. It is Dade scooting through. First down and more to the 25, to the 23-yard line. Ronnie, it's toss left, toss right, and then pop a couple up the middle, and this has been a good-looking drive, mostly on the ground for West Monroe.
Well, West Monroe ranked 3rd in the country according to Fox Sports for a reason, and right here's the reason. They can put all kinds of different running backs in the ball game. They all gain positive yardage. And I was talking to one of the offensive coaches before the game. They said, Dade, number 1 right there, when he gets in the ball game, he sparks that offensive line. They love blocking for him.
He's a little guy, a 5'6", 165-pound junior. From the 24-yard line. The quarterback keeps after faking to the fullback, and he's up to the 20. Mitch Tucker picking up some yardage. Let's take a look at how Fox Sports considers the high school rankings across the country. De La Salle of California, Dinks of Oklahoma, that's a name always up there, and then West Monroe. John Curtis down at number 30, and Moss Point, Mississippi, a team West Monroe already has beaten this year.
Yeah, 22-1, that
22.
one loss being to West Monroe. And there's John Curtis, always ranked in the top 50 or so as well. So two teams from the state of Louisiana ranked in the top 50 in the Fox Sports poll. And last year, the #1 team in America, according to Fox Sports, was Evangelist Shreveport. So West Monroe trying to make it 2 straight years in a row that a Louisiana team might possibly win a national championship.
Tucker, with his second straight carry, picks up a couple to the 18-yard line.
And Tucker, Lynn, just to update you, 5 carries, 19 yards, but Jarrell Johnson's been the man, 12 carries, 76 yards today.
Third down and a long 4 for West Monroe. 1 minute and 38 seconds are left in the third quarter. The snap is fumbled. Tucker picks it up and drops on it for a loss back to the 20. Well, talking about this schedule for West Monroe, Moss Point was beaten 28-23, and Don Schau's told you and I, Ronnie, that he thought St. Aug most resembled Moss Point of any team on his schedule, and that was a narrow victory, 28-23 over Moss Point, Mississippi, a ball club which is contending for the Mississippi Championship. So is Clarksdale, Mississippi. So is Midland Lee, Texas. And so, of course, is John Curtis. And all 4 of those foes have been vanquished by West Monroe this year. Well, it's 4th down. They'll go for it. Tucker rolls right, heaves it to the end zone. It's overthrown, intended for DeMario Taylor. Taylor was behind double coverage, but the ball was thrown long and wide. So West Monroe gives it up on downs.
DeMario Taylor was able to slip back behind the secondary, but the ball just thrown a little bit too wide. So St. Aug, the bend but don't break defense, they gave up a lot of yardage and a lot of clock right now as 51.8 seconds remains in the third quarter. We said it before, St. Aug now down 3 touchdowns. So they have got to move the football and get points, whether it be even a field goal at this point.
Jason Burns hands off to the tailback. Michael Franklin dancing for some yardage out to the 24-yard line, a 5-yard pickup. In a moment, we'll show you a graphic on how these teams have fared so far in the playoffs. Really some lopsided numbers for both clubs through the first 3 games of the playoffs. Today's game brought to you by Bell South Mobility. Less than half a minute left in the third quarter, and West Monroe leads 17-0. Tie-dye formation, wide receivers left and right. Burns will throw. He's only been sacked once. He'll scramble out to the 30, gives a hip, turns the corner, and is rolled out of bounds near the 35-yard line by Mims Boyce, a 5'11", 209-pound junior, weak side linebacker. But a nice scramble by Jason Burns.
Yeah, and he moved the chains. It got out of bounds, did all the right things, got the first down and stopped the clock. So nice pickup by Jason Burns. He is really, it's a night and day from the beginning of the season to now. He's only a junior. He's going to be a good one next year as a senior and coming back for St. Aug. There you see, tucks it, runs, picks up the first down, has the presence of mind and the speed to get out of bounds and stop the clock with 7 seconds.
And he got a good block on the left side by Jay Boyd, a 6'4", 284-pound tackle. The pass batted down by Franklin Lyons. Well, here is Lyons, who alternates a lot in the secondary. He's not a starter, but, Ronnie, he has been active all over the field.
And he came that time on a blitz from the outside, and St. Aug, it seems like West Monroe, rather, Lynn, every time they know they're going to play football, they're coming with the blitz, and that time they guessed right. St. Aug now penalized for a hold, so even the holding didn't help.
Watch number 5 here. Blocked it with his elbows, like I've blocked so many of your shots in basketball.
Well, they sent 2 guys at the quarterback. Franklin took one. He couldn't get them both, so nice scheme that time by West Monroe.
There's a good look at Franklin Lyons, a 5'10", 179-pound junior. He's one of the very few coming back who plays a lot for either one of these ball clubs. This is a senior-laden duo out there today. First and about 20, maybe 21, 22 after the holding penalty. They go to the ground trying to cross up the Rebels and nowhere to go. That's the end of the third period. Let's take a 2-minute local timeout. West Monroe leads 17-0 over St. Aug as we go to chapter number 4 on the Wright and Percy Sports Network. down and long yardage, and St. Aug is forced to put its punting unit on the field again. Today's game, as we play early in the fourth quarter, is brought to you by Bell South Mobility, by Bank One, member FDIC, and by Dodge Ram. Along with Ronnie Rance, I'm Lynn Rollins, Doug Greengard, and Gene Ponte, our sideline reporters. We play early in the fourth quarter. West Monroe 17, St. Aug nothing. The short kick fielded near midfield by Ware, I believe. Look at Glentrell run. He stomps and romps and brings it all the way back to the line of scrimmage. Boy, that's a linebacker's dream, Ronnie.
What a play right there. A shank on the punt. Glentrell Ware going back to block for his receivers. Picks it up and almost takes it the distance. You know, he's smiling. Look at a big smile on his face.
Let's go down on the sideline. Gene Ponte is standing by. Gene, what do you have?
Hey, guys, I'm with Rodney Reed, LSU offensive lineman. First of all, congratulations on y'all's great season. Great coming back here watching you guys play a good game.
Yeah, this is only the second chance that I've got to come back and see these guys play, and they've played real well against a real talented team in St. Aug.
Ben?
Well, good to see Rodney Reed taking a look at this one. You know, he's got to be feeling pretty good.
You know, Rodney, one of the big offensive linemen for LSU, they'll be playing in a bowl game, but they don't know where. They'll find out Sunday night, whether it's the Peach Bowl, Music City, Silicon Valley. I don't know. Who knows?
What's your best guess?
My best guess is the Peach.
Okay.
Betting 50 cents will get you a bus ride.
Toss back on the option. Johnson plows up over left side. Doesn't get the first down, I don't think, but he's pretty close. 10 minutes and 27 seconds are left in the fourth quarter. West Monroe 17, the Purple Knights nothing.
You know, West Monroe has been a pipeline the last few years down to Baton Rouge. As we take a look at the replay here on that fake handoff, they do such a good job of running that option that time. Johnson's been a hoss today with 13 carries for 82 yards. But West Monroe has been a pipeline down to Tigertown, whether it's been Donardo or Nick Saban as head coach.
Johnson again slashes his way for good yardage. Down past the 10 to the 7, maybe the 8-yard line. Derek Bird made the hit again. 2 consecutive tackles for the strong safety. Ronnie, we've got an opportunity to make tapes available of this game for fans. We'll tell you how you can place your order in just a moment. There's the number, 225-336-3218.
Call that number if you want to find out more info on how you can get a copy of today's ball game.
We'll keep that up for a while. And West Monroe takes a timeout. 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. West Monroe 17, St. Aug nothing. Let's take a break on the Wright and Percy Sports Network. Up shy of the stripe, only picked up a yard, and now West Monroe faces fourth down and goal from the 3-yard line. Well, Ronnie, what do you do here? You've got a 17-0 lead. Do you take a field goal or do you go for it?
Well, I think if you're West Monroe, you might as well go for it because, you know, a couple good things happen. You eat up clock, and even if St. Aug gets the football back, you know, they're going to have to go 90-plus yards. So nothing lost in going for it right here.
And that's what West Monroe will do with 8 minutes and a little bit of change left in this contest. Banks and Johnson are in the eye. Johnson is hit and down he goes. He did not get back to the line of scrimmage, and that was a heck of a defensive play by Leggett, I believe, the defensive end, a 6'3", 230-pound junior. And so West Monroe fails to score, and St. Aug gets the ball back with 7:52 remaining in the fourth quarter. Well, let's go down on the field. There is a very interested coach watching this one, and he will be involved in that championship game next week.
Shaw is heading to the state 5A championship game against the winner of this game right here. And joining us now is Hank Tierney, the head coach of the Shaw Eagles. First off, congratulations on the victory last night, Hank.
Thank you very much. Our kids really played well, and we're just happy to be in the Superdome Classic.
Give me some thoughts on West Monroe, which it appears as though they're going to go on and win this game. I don't want to get too premature, but it looks that way.
Great program. One of the best programs in the country. You know, we've played them twice in the last 4 years, so we're familiar with them. And this looks to me to be as good as any of the 2 West Monroe teams we played. and they were great teams.
What's going to take for you guys if it's West Monroe?
It's going to take a perfect game, and that might not even be enough. They're a great football team, great program.
Hank Tierney, congratulations on heading back to the state 5A championship game. Back upstairs.
Well, Ronnie, I think he was a little bit active with the voice last night, don't you believe?
Yeah, the same thing I've got. And I tell you, he's excited as well he should be. His kids played fantastic. And, John Ehret versus Shaw for the right to go to the state championship, that is as big a game as there is in the state. These two teams, two schools are right near each other. There was a packed house. Big win for Coach Hank Tierney. And, if ever there was a team where it was okay to just be happy to be there, it'd be Shaw. They weren't expected to be in the dome, and they've made it back.
Jason Burns on that 3rd and long fires one through the hands of Michael Franklin, and St. Aug apparently will punt it away deep in its own territory with 6:55 left, and the season is slipping through the St. Aug hands now, trailing 17-0. The kick is away. It is short. West Monroe will let it roll, and it almost hit one of those West Monroe blockers, but it's extinguished at the 36-yard line. So West Monroe has great field position and a 17-0 lead with 6:44 remaining in the 4th quarter. Today's game brought to you by Bell South Mobility. If you'd like a VHS copy of today's game, we'll show you that address, that telephone number. Give the folks at Wright and Percy a call, 225-336-3218.
Well, West Monroe with 6:44 left to go. This is going to be a lot of running. I don't think we're going to see Tucker throw the football anymore the rest of this football game. And many of the crowd here at Tad Gormley Stadium, around 15 to 20,000 expected here at the stadium, which holds over 25,000 in New Orleans. So about 15 grand, I guess, in attendance here. And they have seen West Monroe methodically go about their business, and possibly for the 2nd week in a row, they're going to throw a shutout. They shut out a very good Barb team a week ago. Look like they're going to do that to St. Aug today.
If they get the goose egg, it would be their 3rd shutout in 4 playoff games. Johnson trying to slice through the middle after that run of 10 yards by Tucker. J.J. knocked down after a short gain. 6 minutes and 3 seconds separate one of these teams from the Superdome next week. Championships in 93, 96, 97, and 98 for West Monroe. There is Jerry Arledge. He's going to put this one on his resume. 1 win, no losses.
Jerry Arledge getting the backups into the ball game. I would expect that you're going to see a lot of substitution here at the with about 5 minutes and change to go, because wants to get these guys some experience, especially the younger players, for next year.
And you don't want anybody in a key role to go down here with 5:25 remaining. The 5 championship games next week promise to be, from 1 through 5, probably the most competitive in the history of the Superdome Classic. What a field in New Orleans next week. 3rd down, about 3. Pull back up the middle. I don't think he got it. West Monroe very content here to stay on the ground as Edward Dade, who has played some and effectively behind Mark Banks today, gets a couple of yards. It's 4th down at about 4 feet with 4:50 and counting, and West Monroe is in no hurry. Well, the teams will get a brief breather on this fourth down run. Let's show you what these teams have done up to this point in the 3 playoff games. You see the Rebels, they've outscored their opponents 135-7, including shutouts of Warren Easton and Barb in weeks 1 and 3. And St. Aug in 3 playoff appearances has outscored its opponents 81-43. Although they had a very close ball game in the 2nd week of the season. That was in the muck as well. They knocked off Hahnville 8-6 in a very tight contest.
Well, that's very impressive. 135-7, and now you can make that 152-7. West Monroe has outscored its opponents in the playoffs, and it goes to show you that, no question, West Monroe is just the class of 5A football in Louisiana.
So you're saying if Shaw wins next week, it would be an upset?
I'm saying if Shaw won next week, it would be an upset of magnificent proportion. David Steinley would do 100 push-ups if Shaw would win next week. It's not going to happen.
We've got flags flying. 15 seconds were left on the play clock, so that couldn't be the problem. Let's go down to Gene Potty. He's got a report from the West Monroe sideline.
Hey, guys, as you know, West Monroe has certainly had a great football year and seem to be on their way to a state championship, but it has not been a season without tragedy. As you see MP and number 39 on their uniforms, it stands for a couple players who were killed during the course of the year, and it's meant a lot to their program. Matt Pratt and Michael Barnes, two players who will be remembered by this football team and who they're playing for in the stretch run. Back up top.
Okay, Gene, thank you very much. Those tragedies striking the West Monroe team last spring. 4th down. Little pass out to the right side, caught by Taylor. He reverses field. Taylor at the 5. Taylor digging for the stripe. He did not get in, but he's got enough for the first down. It'll be 1st and goal. DeMario Taylor had caught 12 balls, averaging nearly 16 per reception, and this little guy went from one sideline to the other.
Now, West Monroe still throwing the football up. He almost put his knee down, but he was able to stay off the turf, and the Rebels look like they're going in for some more. Surprised to see Tucker throwing the football.
He was finally wrestled down by Craig Kelly. There may have been a penalty marker on that play, and there is.
On the way.
Clipping penalty against
Replay
West Monroe. So Taylor got a little bit of help as he reversed field.
And a big, big penalty. That one really going to help out the Purple Knight defense. You know, uncharacteristic. The Rebels should have about 2 more touchdowns than they already do, but penalties have killed them this evening.
This brings up 4th down and about 6 yards to go. Let's take a break. 4:36 remaining in the ball game. West Monroe 17, St. Aug nothing on the Wright and Percy Sports Network.
Nathan.
1st and 10 for St. Aug after the misplay on the 4th down pass. Burns fires it upfield. It's incomplete and almost intercepted. Abrams came over, tried to make a diving catch. There is Desiree Abrams, a 5'10 junior. And he almost made the 3rd pick of the game for West Monroe. So it is now 2nd down and 10 for St. Aug with 4:26 to go. The football is resting at the 21-yard line. The Purple Knights, 8-2 during the regular season, 5-1 in their district. Burns hands it off to Fortuna, and he is smashed in the backfield. Well, a good double-team tackle by J.R. Hayden and Ricky Gio, the 2 defensive ends, pinched in together. And you see the flag still blowing in the wake of this 15-20 mile-an-hour wind, and that's the wind that St. Aug will have to throw into here in the final 4 minutes of the game.
Yeah, it's going to be awfully tough for St. Aug to do so. Their passing attack has been not very consistent today. It's been, you know, throw a few balls up, hope somebody jumps and catches it. Hasn't been very consistent.
How about that last defensive play? Both ends coming from the corners and making the hit. Burns under pressure, steps up, heaves it deep into double coverage. It is nonetheless caught near midfield. Jala, I believe, got it. It was Akeem Jala. The 6'2", 184-pound junior was able to go up between a couple of Rebel defenders.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Burns, you know, in the first quarter, threw one like that, just threw it up to grabs to Brandon Smith. That time Jala came down with it. But in between today, there hasn't been a lot of those catches.
Michael Turner for West Monroe and Akeem Jala for St. Aug are the same type of receivers, built about the same. Pretty good speed, good jumping ability. Rangy receivers. Fortuna, nowhere to go. The Rebels stuff it on the left side defensively. Just nowhere to run. Today's game brought to you in part by Wright and Percy Insurance. Staying ahead of a changing world. By Parish National Bank. By Purple and Gold, the inside source for LSU sports. By Go.com, powered by Go Online. By Bell South Mobility. Burns is wrestled down as he tries to make that 2nd down throw. And the Rebels are really coming hard now. D.J. Holloway and B.J. Simmons and some others were right in the face of Jason Burns. No place to go for this junior quarterback.
Well, you know, Burns, right, doesn't even really have a time to set up right here. He takes his 7-step drop, and by the time he turns around, there's Holloway right in his face. And maybe could have been a fumble.
There were lots of other Rebels in on the play as well. That's the 4th sack today for the West Monroe team. 2:21 and counting in the 4th quarter. West Monroe 17, St. Aug nothing. Fortuna ducks under a tackler. He's hit, caught in a bear trap, and lunges forward to the 41 or 2-yard line. Fortuna has been a marked man. And St. Aug puts its punting unit on the field yet another time. Philip Franklin will kick it, or at least that appears to be the word. Ronnie, I'm a little bit surprised that St. Aug would go ahead and punt this thing, and they may reconsider.
Well, there's a player shaking up on the play right there at the time, big number 65 for St. Aug, shaking up at it. The Knights, to me, yeah, I agree, Len. You might as well just go for it. If you don't make the first down, I'm sure West Monroe's going to kneel it or try to run out the clock.
LaVale Washington was injured momentarily. He's limped off to the sideline, appears to be gathering steam. 2 minutes left. The kick is away, high and very short. And it rolls around after a neutral hop at the 45-yard line. That came very close to hitting one of the Rebels, as did the previous kick.
And one of the St. Aug coaches is pointing that way, thinking they had the football, but it looks like West Monroe does indeed have it. With a minute 45 seconds left on the clock, and the Rebels will just kneel this one down, I'm sure, and move on to the Superdome. You know what? They might not even check out of their hotel. They're staying at the same hotel they always stay at in New Orleans whenever they come in for the Dome. Maybe they'll just stay the week.
Well, I'm not sure that ball wasn't touched by West Monroe. It appeared it was, Ronnie. So your peepers were perfect on that one. It looked like it might have hit a Rebel, and apparently it did.
An officiating crew, believe me, they've had their money's worth today. They have been in the middle of ruckuses on the sidelines, a lot of personal fouls in the second quarter, and some crazy plays. They had a batted ball that a lot of them thought was an interception. That time they got the call right, though.
There was no real demonstrative signal, but it is St. Aug's football. Fortuna running left and giving ground, and that's a mistake. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Rebels surrounding Lawrence Fortuna.
It looked like there were more, like 2-to-1 Rebels than St. Aug that time. I mean, you're sure West Monroe didn't have about 15 guys on the field. They were right after the football.
The charge was led by Jared Frost, the right safety, but he had a lot of teammates around him.
Look at all the white helmets when you picture 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Ware's the first one to get to him.
7 and as many as 9 players get in your screen there at the end of that play.
Here's the blitz, a hit, intercepted, and going down at the 31-yard line is Case Sanders. Case Sanders, a backup defensive end to Gio, makes the interception after the quarterback was blasted. 3 picks today for West Monroe.
We talked about it, how they usually have more turnovers than their opponent. There you see, Sanders gets tripped up by his own guy, and
the football into the air. There's Jerry Arledge, defensive coordinator, who will claim this victory on his resume following the ejection of Don Shows in the first half. If there's such a thing as a pass, officials said, don't step on this grass again. A couple of seconds later, there was another call against West Monroe. He came out to discuss it, and the official said, take a seat. There's a happy group of Rebels on the sideline. They know they'll be coming back down south a week from today.
It'll be a little bit warmer in that Superdome, though, next week.
Tucker keeps, struggles forward for a couple of yards. Ronnie, I'm a bit surprised that your first-string quarterback would still be in the ball game with less than a minute to go.
Yeah, and in the first-string offensive line, but West Monroe, these guys have worked hard in the offseason. You know, Lynn, they put in nearly 5,000 hours. West Monroe did in the weight room during the summer. I mean, they, as a team, they put in over 5,000 hours. So they have worked hard to get to this point, and their hard work is paying off.
It is a physically imposing team at most positions. 40 seconds and counting. This could be the last snap. Tucker only has to take a knee. West Monroe in a safe formation. Tucker takes a knee, and there is a flag on the play. The game clock shows just less than 25 seconds. The play clock of 25 seconds, but this one won't start until they get everything reset. So Tucker might have to take one more knee, and then this game, barring penalty, will be done in favor of West Monroe. Well, a couple of the St. Aug coaches come by, and in a very sportsmanlike move, pretty much pass along congratulations to everybody, wishing the West Monroe folks well next week. They don't even have to take a snap. The game clock is moving. 10 seconds. Tucker can let this one wind down, and West Monroe is heading back to the Superdome next week. The final score from New Orleans: West Monroe 17, St. Aug nothing. They are happy in Northeast Louisiana. Championships in 93, 96, 97, 98. A Superdome final in 99. And a chance to win another championship in 2000. We'll take a 90-second network break. Then we'll come back for final stats and interviews from the sideline. West Monroe 17, St. Aug nothing. It's over in New Orleans on the Wright and Percy Sports Network. Shouts. Gene, take it away.
Hey guys, as you can see, obviously the West Monroe Rebels very excited about their huge win this afternoon. Don Stiles joins us back on the field. And Don, I don't know how much of this game you had a chance to see, but for the sake of it, they look pretty good in my eyes.
Well, I saw all of the first half, but the second half, I was out of the stadium and I walked, I think, 10 miles. But I tell you what, our kids played great, and our coaching staff, you know, they did a tremendous job. And, you know, heck, we're going back to New Orleans next week, and that says it all.
Absolutely. Fourth time in 4 years. You guys are really becoming not only the team, fifth time in a row, 5 in a row, not only the team of the 90s, but you're kind of starting off this new decade in the right way.
Well, we are, and this was our goal at the very beginning of the year, to have the opportunity to go back. And, of course, we played a quality football team here tonight, and, you know, I'm just real proud of our football team and our coaches, and I'm proud of all the fans that made the trip. It was a heck of an effort.
Don, naturally, I have to ask you about the ejection there in the first half. Things got ugly early, didn't it?
Well, Gene, really, I did not realize that. All I said was I didn't cuss the guy or anything, or use any. I said, look, you guys are killing us, and he threw me out for that. And then, of course, the other flag I got, he said I was taunting the other team. I said, no, I wasn't. I said, all I was telling y'all is that they were hitting our players in the growing area. And I said, and you throw a flag on that? I said, I mean, all my kids are telling you that they're hitting us in the growing area, and you won't throw the flag on them. And so I didn't even know I got a flag there. And then when I got the one down here, they were just looking for something.
Well, Coach, congratulations. I know you guys will work hard, getting ready for a Shaw team that looked impressive last night here in town.
Absolutely, and it'll be a great ball game in the Dome next Saturday at 8 o'clock.
Y'all played them a couple of times in the last few years, too, so you obviously know a little bit of what Hank has.
Well, I think we're pretty familiar with each other, and it won't be any secrets. Both of us, we'll both be ready to play.
Okay, Don, thanks for your time.
Thank you, Gene.
Okay, everybody, Don Show's certainly excited about the win. They do have some hard work ahead, getting ready for the Shaw Eagles, who they'll meet right back down here in the Crescent City next Saturday night. Back up top.
Okay, Gene, thank you very much. Great job from the sidelines today, and you had a lot to report about. Well, on the other side, Doug Greengard is with Jason Burns, the St. Aug quarterback. Doug?
Thank you, gentlemen. I know a lot of tears on the sideline here. A lot of the St. Aug players playing their very last high school game. Not the case for Jason Burns, but still a disappointing end to a season. I know you guys had much higher hopes.
Yeah, we didn't come out and play our kind of football tonight. We didn't come out and execute on offense. The defense played well for us. We just didn't execute on offense.
Defense got tired. They had to spend a lot of time out on the field. Maybe you can put a finger on what happened with you guys offensively. You've been a pretty offensive, potent offense this year, but you guys just couldn't seem to muster anything. Was it something they were doing? Maybe you can talk about that specifically.
They've been doing what they did all year long. We prepared for that. We were prepared for that, and I don't know, a lot of blame was on me. I didn't execute like I should have did tonight. But I just want to thank all the guys on the team. It was a hell of a year for us, and I'm sad to see it end, though.
I know you got to put it in perspective. It's been a great season for you, and this is a bitter pill to swallow right now. You've got another year, and some of the guys don't. What do you go and tell some of the other guys? You're a leader on this team.
I would tell the guys, remember this feeling right now we have right now, you know. This is one of the worst feelings I've ever felt in my life, and I would never like to feel this. I won't feel this next year.
All right, Jason. Back upstairs to you guys.
Hey, Doug, thank you very much. Another outstanding job from the sideline as 11-3. St. Aug closes out its season. West Monroe rolls on at 14-0. Today's game brought to you in part by Wright and Percy Insurance, one step ahead of a changing world. By Luba Workman's Compensation for Louisiana. By Parish National Bank, member FDIC. By Bell South and the real yellow pages of Bell South. By Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Louisiana. Well, Gene Ponte on the other sideline has defensive end J.R. Hayden, another shutout for West Monroe, their 5th this season. Gene?
Well, guys, for the third time here in the postseason, the West Monroe defense pitches the shutout. This time, as you saw, 17-0. J.R. Hayden, one of the 5 defensive ends of this ball club, joins us. And first of all, obviously, J.R., congratulations. A nice team effort. You guys played hard. And I know the key was trying to keep them off the corners, and y'all did.
Yeah, thank you for congratulating us. We came out. We knew their offensive line was going to be, you know, big, and we just came out. You know, Coach Archer had us prepared real well, all the coaches. And, you know, we had to get pressure on the quarterback so the corners wouldn't be alone out there.
Yeah, if there's anything, maybe they hurt y'all with the trap early on, but y'all worked that through it.
Yeah, you know, we knew if we got up on a little bit, they was going to start passing, so we put in, you know, the nickel patches with 3 down linemen, and we was trying to get more pressure on the quarterback. So, you know, we did what we had to do.
Enjoy the week. Congratulations. Get ready for Shaw. Okay, guys, back up to the press box.
All right, Gene, 236 yards right. Bank One, member FDIC, the official bank of the LSU Tigers. By Bell South Mobility. By Dodge Ram Trucks. And by Go.com, powered by Go Online. Every ball game.
A fantastic performance by West Monroe, 152 points to 7. They have outscored their opponents in the postseason. They had over 313 yards offense, only gave up 186, but the key, 3 turnovers. Anytime you get 3 turnovers to none, you're going to win the